Now, we heard Zuckerberg just then talking about competitors, iMessage, YouTube. This seems pretty unprecedented to talk about competitors during an earnings call. I mean, what's your take on that?
Yeah, it's very rare for executives to talk about competitors. One of the things that the investors aren't liking right now is this idea that really Zuckerberg is going from the news feed, which made vast amounts of money in the last few years. Everyone knows what that is, everyone knows how that works, and now he's talking about how they're going to make money, try and make money from messages, WhatsApp, and also from stories on Instagram. Investors aren't quite so sure how profitable those types of ads and that type of content will be. So there's a big question mark about it. And Zuckerberg was saying basically the next year is going to be another big investment year focused on those two new things.
And David, shares are tanking right now. Are investors confident that they can monetize those platforms like WhatsApp and Instagram when they no longer have the founders at the helm?
Well, if investors were confident, they probably wouldn't be tanking the stock right now, so clearly not. I think there are unusual number of question marks surrounding Facebook right now, so I don't think investors are confident about much of anything, except if the problems were solved, this could still be the best money machine anybody ever saw, because that's basically been what it's been for the last several years. But it is a moment of enormous gray uncertainty around Facebook right now. It is shocking to me that Zuckerberg called out iMessage as their biggest competitor in messaging. I mean, I think that's partly because he's been really burned by Tim Cook's criticisms of Facebook, and he's trying to say, oh, the only reason Tim Cook is criticizing us is because he's competing with us, which is frankly, in my opinion, kind of a cop-out. It's absolutely unprecedented for him to have said that.
And when it comes to WhatsApp and Instagram, I mean, what more have we learned about what they're doing in terms of embedding ads into the services and the security of the product?
Yeah, I think that those comments from Sheryl Sandberg show that really she is getting down into the nitty-gritty of how ads are going to show up in WhatsApp. Before this quarter, I think most of the conversation was, we are going to monetize it in general now. We're not sure exactly how. But no, when you see Sandberg really focusing on it, she's the operations person. She's the advertising expert who actually does the nitty-gritty. So that shows that they're really thinking about it and moving along. But again, there's still a question mark about how much money they're going to make from this, especially compared to the newsfeed.
Right, and David, I want to take a listen now to what Zuckerberg said earlier on the call about security on WhatsApp.
It's worth noting that one of the main reasons people prefer our services, especially WhatsApp, is because of its stronger record on privacy. WhatsApp is completely end-to-end encrypted, does not store your messages, and doesn't store the keys to your messages in China or anywhere else. And this is important because if our systems can't see your messages, then that means that governments and bad actors won't be able to access them through us either.
Now, we just heard Zuckerberg sort of touting the privacy controls on WhatsApp. Does that appease users and investors at all when it comes to the slew of privacy breaches they've been facing over the past few months on the core Facebook platform?
Probably not. I think it, again, interestingly, seems to be direct. It's sort of a backhanded criticism of Apple for allowing the Chinese government access to Apple products in China. And he's sort of presenting himself as holier than thou. I mean, the real problems with WhatsApp, in my opinion, are its use as a broadcast tool for political manipulation and propaganda in places like Brazil, India, etc. And so far we haven't heard much about what is really the #1 issue surrounding Facebook, which is how it is being used to undermine democratic society around the world. I mean, we're in the middle of a 2-part documentary on PBS that last night was an unremitting attack on this company, and they're acting like none of this is even happening.
Ali, lastly, I'm just looking at our Top Live blog. The CFO is saying that they're going to get more user growth from parts of the world where Facebook makes less money. That doesn't seem to bode well.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, these earnings, the earnings that actually came out in the third quarter, kind of blew away analyst estimates, partly because they still managed to get a lot of growth in the US and Canada. But yeah, that's another big concern. You've got on the product side, unknown products, how that's going to monetize, and then on the growth side, you have new countries where the people aren't quite as wealthy, and the advertising markets are less lucrative. So two big question marks going forward.